This is Scott the Fix-It Guide. Today we're dealing with the LG washing machine that won't drain and has the OE error. This is caused by a bad drain motor. So this is the LG washing machine, and we are going to make sure we manually drain out all the water as best we can, and we're going to remove the top panel by first removing these Phillips head screws, just the ones on the bottom out of the two, not the top one, but just the bottom one on both sides. And we're going to pull off the other one. And then for safety's sake, we'll unplug the washing machine. And we're just going to take off some of these parts. We're going to use a Phillips head screwdriver to remove this screw so we can pull off this plastic panel, and we're going to press down on this tab and pull out the detergent drawer, get it out of the way. There's a couple of Phillips head screws hanging out underneath. We're going to remove those with our Phillips head screwdriver. Zip those out. There we go. We're going to pry out this plastic piece, get it out of the way. There's a little Phillips head screw hiding underneath that helps hold on the front panel, so we have to remove that one. That's holding the panel at the bottom. And then there's 5 screws holding it at the top, hiding underneath the control panel. Next we're going to open the door and we're going to pry off the spring retainer that holds on the front of the door boot. We're going to pull that spring wire off, and then we're going to pull back on the boot to get it loose from the front panel. Just kind of tuck that out of the way. Now we're pulling the top panel off by pushing it away from us by about an inch, and then we're going to lift up on it and get it out of the way. That exposes a little screw on the control panel that we're going to remove with a Phillips head screwdriver, just the one on the right side. Pull that screw out. And then we're going to pull back on the panel. We're going to undo these little tabs. There's 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. Just pull back towards you and they'll come loose. That exposes these 5 screws that are on the top of the front panel. We want to remove all 5. So we have these screws removed, and once we get them out, we can pull the panel, tilt it toward us. It'll just hinge from the bottom. It's still connected though. In this case, the boot's still holding on a little bit, and also it's connected by the door switch modular connector. And you just want to reach down. It's on the right side. Reach down, grab it, press this little white tab, and then pull that away. Okay, then it's held in by 3 little pins at the bottom. We're going to pull it off the pins and then get the front door panel and assembly out of the way. That exposes 2 Phillips head screws that are holding on the pump assembly. Just spin those out. And we have to remove some hoses that are on the pump before we can pull it out of the machine. So these are electrical connectors for the circulation pump. We're just going to wiggle and pull those off. 2 of those. And there's 3 hoses. We have to remove the circulation hose, the main drain, and then the drain hose that's removing the water from the machine. So we're using our pliers to press clip, and we pull that off. We got the circulation one off. Now we're pulling the main drain line off. Cut that out of the way. Now Now we're going to grab the whole assembly, we're going to tilt it back to about 45 degrees to get it off this little place, and then we can pull it out of the washing machine. And then there's a couple more electrical connectors for the pump. We're just going to grab those, wiggle, and pull them back. If they aren't too tight, you can use pliers to get them off. 1 and 2. Now we're going to remove the 3 screws that hold on the pump, and just Phillips head screws. So we spin those off, and we grab the pump, pull it, and wiggle, and it'll come right off of the housing. There we go. And then with the new pump, we just have to switch this protective white cap, pull it off of the old one. We put that on the new pump, clip it on. Now we can take the pump and install it back on the housing. We want to match the drain pump so it is the same angle as the circulation pump. Put in the 3 Phillips head screws, tighten them up, put the power connector back on, tilt it back 45 degrees, and then lock it in. And then we'll put the 2 mounting screws back in. Zip those in. We're putting the circulation pump power connectors back on. Feeding the wires into the holder. We're putting the main hose back on. I'm going to line up this little notch in the rubber with the notch on the housing. We put the spring clip back on, put the drain hose back on, circulation hose right here, put that back on. Get all the hoses back, all the electrical connectors are back. And now we're going to put the front panel back on. Just have to remember to hook up this door lock connector. We push it back up in there. Push it up in strong though, make sure it's really securely locked in. Then we can push the panel back into position and then put the 5 Phillips head screws back in to hold it in position. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got it. Put this one little screw back in here at the bottom to help hold on the front panel. So all the panel screws are back in. We can put our plastic piece back into position. Push it in. There's one little Phillips head screw we have to put in the bottom. This back in, put our front panel back into position, just push it in and then close it. Put our boot back onto the front panel. Get it over all the way around and then make sure it goes over the metal lip. Go. We're putting some liquid detergent on our hand to lubricate this spring ring. It's very important. If it's lubricated, it goes on a lot easier. We can get it all the way around, put the ring in position, and then we're going to drive it down, locked into position. I usually use a screwdriver to help me. Close our door. Put our control panel back in. These plastic tabs will fit back into the front panel at the top. Make sure it all lines up. Get it back in position, and then there's a little Phillips head screw we have to put back in on the right hand side, the back of the right hand side. Right here, tighten that one up. go. Okay, so we got that screw back in to hold on the front panel. We're going to put in a couple more Phillips head screws, these long screws that hold in the panel underneath the detergent drawer. So one on the right and one on the left. These are stainless steel screws because they're exposed to corrosive detergent, so they look a little bit different from the other screws. They're longer and slightly different type of chrome color. Put our detergent drawer back on its tracks and then just push it all the way back in. Got it. We'll put our top panel back in, and then we're going to pull it toward us so there's no more gap. There we go. And we're going to put in those two Phillips head screws to hold it on. Got it. Plug it back in. Give it a test. We'll turn on the power, set it for normal. We start it so we can fill it with some water, make sure it'll drain okay. Some water in there. Now we turn it on. We're going to press spin speed extra high, and then we will press the start button, and then it'll start to drain first before it spins. And it's draining good again. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe to our channel. Thank you.